If you find yourself constantly picking up the check, fixing her computer, and generally acting as the on-call handyman for her life without feeling that same energy in return, you already know the uncomfortable truth we need to talk about. You might be more of a utility than a partner. That stings a little, doesn't it? It's meant to, because that little sting of recognition is the first step to seeing the game board for what it really is. Most men walk through their romantic lives completely blind to the two fundamentally different roles they can be cast in: the provider or the partner. And the worst part? They have no idea that they are the ones handing her the script, telling her exactly which role to assign. You think you're being a good guy, the reliable one, the one she can count on. But what you're actually doing is framing yourself as a resource. A very useful, very convenient, and ultimately a very replaceable resource. Today we're going to change that. We're not going to change who you are. We're not going to turn you into some kind of manipulative jerk. We're just going to change the lighting. We're going to adjust the angle of the camera. Because it's not manipulation, it's framing. And by the end of this video, you will have a crystal clear understanding of which frame you're currently in, and more importantly, how to subtly and elegantly shift it. Let's first dissect the provider. This is the role most men stumble into by default. It's the path of least resistance. The provider is safe, stable, and incredibly useful. He's the human equivalent of a premium subscription service. He offers a suite of benefits: financial support, emotional stability, problem-solving on demand, logistical assistance. Got a flat tire? Call the provider. Had a bad day at work? Unload on the provider. Need someone to build your IKEA furniture? The provider operates on a simple, unspoken contract. I will make your life easier and more comfortable, and in exchange, you will give me your affection and presence. On the surface, it sounds fair. It sounds traditional, but it's a trap, because the value of a service is based entirely on its utility. The moment a better, more efficient, or more exciting service comes along, the old one gets canceled. There's no loyalty to your internet provider. You switch the second you find a better deal. When you're in the provider frame, listen to the language she uses to describe you to her friends. It's all complimentary, but in a specific way. Oh, he's so sweet. He's so good to me. He's so reliable. I can always count on him. These are the things you say about a loyal golden retriever or a well-functioning appliance. They describe performance. They describe function. They do not describe a co-conspirator, a challenger, an equal. They don't describe a partner. The psychology behind falling into this trap is simple. It often comes from a place of insecurity, a quiet, deep-seated belief that your presence alone isn't enough. You feel this need to do something to justify your place in her life. So you provide, you solve, you fix. You become so busy being useful that you forget to be interesting. You're auditioning for a job that you've already given yourself. And the tragedy is, it's the wrong job. You're applying to be the groundskeeper of the castle when you should be claiming your seat on the throne beside the queen. Now let's contrast this with the other role, the partner. This is a completely different universe operating on a different set of physical laws. The partner frame isn't built on utility. It's built on a shared reality. It's collaborative. It's dynamic. It's sometimes a little bit messy. A partner isn't a subscription service. He's a co-founder of the startup. The relationship is the company. They both have equity. They both have a say in the big decisions. They challenge each other's ideas in the boardroom, not to be difficult, but because that friction is what polishes a good idea into a brilliant one. A provider offers comfort. A partner offers growth. Think about the dynamics. Does she come to you with a problem for you to solve, or does she come to you with a problem to figure out together? A provider hears, "My boss is being a nightmare," and immediately jumps into solution mode. Okay, here's what you do. You write an email, you CC HR. He provides the answer. A partner hears the same thing and says, "That sounds infuriating. Tell me what happened." He creates a space for collaboration. The focus is on we, not you and your problem. The language around a partner is also different. Her friends don't hear, "He's so reliable." They hear, "We make such a good team." They don't hear, "He's so sweet." They hear, "He challenges me to be better." Or, "He's the one person I can be my complete weird self around." A partner's value isn't in what he does for her. It's in who he is with her. The provider is a feature in her life. The partner is a co-author of their story. So the big question, how do you know which frame you're actually in? Your perception can be misleading. You might think you're a partner, but your actions and her reactions tell a different story. So let's run a few simple, quiet diagnostics. You don't need to announce these. Just run the test and observe the data. First is the inconvenience test. This one is beautiful in its simplicity. For 1 week, just become slightly less convenient. I'm not saying to be a jerk or to ignore her. If she calls with a non-urgent problem, instead of dropping everything, try saying, Wow, that sounds tricky. I'm slammed with this project right now, but let's brainstorm. Now, watch the reaction. Is it mild frustration? Like when your Wi-Fi is buffering? A sense of annoyance that her convenience has been disrupted? Does she get a little cold or distant? But if her reaction is one of understanding, oh, of course, you focus on your project, we can figure it out later, then you have a good sign. A partner understands that you have a life. Next up is the investment test. I'm talking about time, energy, and emotional vulnerability. Get out a metaphorical balance sheet. In the last month, who has initiated more of the plans? Who has put more energy into creating dates and experiences? Who has been more emotionally vulnerable? Does she invest in your world? Does she ask about your big project at work and remember the details? Does she make an effort with your friends? Or is the relationship orbit always centered around her world, her friends, her career, her problems? Are you a welcome guest in her life, or are you a co-owner of a shared life? Third, we have the challenge test. A good relationship has healthy friction. A partner is not a yes man. A partner is someone who respects you enough to disagree with you. Does she challenge you? If you have a big idea, does she just offer bland encouragement? Or does she engage with it, poke holes in it, and help you make it stronger? If you're slacking on your goals, does she let it slide to maintain the peace? Or does she give you that look and say, hey, I thought you were going to the gym this week. What happened? A woman who only wants a provider wants someone predictable and easy. If your relationship is a sea of perpetual, placid agreement, you're not in a partnership. You're in a comfort zone. Finally, there's the future talk test. This is the advanced diagnostic. When you two talk about the future, what are the pronouns? Listen very, very carefully. Is it filled with we and us and our? Or is it a subtle but consistent use of I and my, where you are simply a feature in her future plans? When I move to the city, it'll be great to have you there. Okay, so you've run the diagnostics. The first impulse is to panic. The second is to get angry or resentful. Ignore both. They are useless. We are going to initiate a reframe, and we're going to do it so smoothly, she won't even notice it's happening. She'll just find herself wanting to be your partner. The first step is to introduce playful unavailability. This is about genuinely having a life that is so compelling and interesting that you are not, in fact, available 24/7. The magic here is in the framing. It's, I'd love to, but Saturday is my one day to really grind on this coding project. How about Sunday afternoon? The second step is what I call the collaborative ask. This is a powerful shift in your communication. Your default response is no longer to provide a solution. She says, I have to plan my sister's bachelorette party. The new partner you says, wow, that sounds like a huge project. What's your first thought on how to tackle it? Let's map it out together. You shift from being her employee to being her consultant, her strategist, her partner. This forces her to invest her own mental and emotional energy into the solution. Third, you must actively create opportunities for her to invest in you. This can feel weird for guys who are used to doing all the giving, but it's essential. It's as simple as this. Hey, you have amazing taste in music. Could you make a playlist for our road trip this weekend? Or, I have a big presentation on Friday. Could you do me a huge favor? These aren't demands. They are invitations. You are giving her the opportunity to feel competent and useful. It rebalances the scales, subtly and effectively. Finally, you have to share your entire world, not just the highlight reel. The partner understands that vulnerability is the bedrock of true connection. Talk about your fears, talk about your ambitions, even the crazy ones. Talk about that stupid mistake you made at work. Let her see the messy, uncurated parts of your life. But a woman who is a potential partner, she will lean in. She will see this as an invitation to a deeper level of intimacy. It gives her a chance to support you. Now, a word of caution. As you start making these shifts, you might get a little pushback. She might be confused. You always used to is a phrase you might hear. The key is the default setting. The underlying frame. Is the operating system of your relationship built on a transactional provider-recipient model? Or is it built on a collaborative, co-creative partnership model? Because ultimately, you teach people how to treat you. You are the one setting the frame. You are the one who decides if you're applying for the job of a utility service. So, take a look at the game board. See the pieces clearly, and start making your moves. Small shifts, big outcomes. You could just subscribe to this channel and let me do the heavy lifting for you. I think we both know which is the smarter choice. Go ahead, it's an easy one.